which leaves it only men and soldiers, and it's made it very clear it does not want to release them unless Israel is willing to release all of its Palestinian prisoners.
Israel has vowed to resume its offensive against Hamas in Gaza once the truce ends. UCLA Middle East expert Ben Rad tells us that Hamas realizes its leverage dwindles as it releases more hostages.
Where it's headed is we probably will see a resumption of fighting sometime, unfortunately, within the next 3 to 4 days. And then it remains to be seen what the fate of the remaining hostages are. But Israeli leadership is committed to eliminating Hamas leadership, or at least removing them from Gaza. And until that objective is met, the fighting won't end.
He says the deadly Jerusalem bus stop attack also complicates efforts to release more hostages. Montana's attempt to ban TikTok runs into a federal court roadblock. CBS's Tom Foti reports the case will continue in the courts and TikTok remains available in Montana.
The opinion by U.S. District Judge Donald Malloy is mostly in agreement with arguments made by attorneys for TikTok, whose Chinese ownership has raised data security concerns. Montana's legislature was the first state to try to ban it. TikTok and some of its content creators contend the Montana ban violates free speech rights.
George Santos' days could be numbered in the House. A vote is expected tomorrow on whether to expel him.
The House Ethics Committee says it has amassed overwhelming evidence of lawbreaking by Santos that has been sent to the Justice Department.
I've said this many times. I'm fighting to defend myself and to dispel each and every accusation as soon as I have the opportunity.
Santos says he will not resign, and the House would be voting to expel based on allegations.
If I leave, they win. If I leave, the bullies take place. This is bullying.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calls Santos
a joke and an embarrassment and a serial fraudster.
Jeffries says Republicans knew what Santos was doing and coddled him
and played footsie with him for the better part of the year. Why? Because House Republicans needed George Santos's vote.
This would be the third expulsion effort of Santos's short tenure in Congress. Ed Donahue, Washington.
On the first day of the United Nations Climate Conference in Dubai, 200 nations agreed to create a loss and damage fund to help developing nations deal with the impacts of climate change. CBS's Ben Tracy has more.
The theory behind this is that wealthy nations would basically give money to poor developing nations to help them cover some of the costs that they're incurring because of the impacts of climate change. And the reason for that is that the wealthy nations in this world, the United States, the European Union, etc., have created most of the planet warming emissions that have caused climate change, that are causing climate change. And these poor countries are disproportionately impacted by it.
The European Union has pledged $245 million to the fund, the United Arab Emirates $100 million, and the United States $17.5 million. 7:35, we'll have some highlights of the Newsom DeSantis debate going on right now. In 2 minutes, right now, your traffic. Here's Brian Douglas.
That's some police activity due to a crash here on the 91, and it affects both directions. 91 southbound especially, the 110 southbound, just past the 91 is where this is. So both directions of the 110 affected. Southbound side's affected. That east to west 91 transition to the south 110, that looks like it's also stopped here. We had apparently somebody on the freeway, or maybe somebody whose car broke down, and that person was involved with a crash. Now, your northbound side, you are moving, but you've got some slowing coming away from Carson Street. So just look out for delays here in the Gardena area for the 110 freeway. We definitely had a deadly wreck here, unfortunately. This was a motorcyclist who died in the 101 northbound, right for Universal City. 2 left lanes closed until further notice. And that backup solid from Santa Monica Boulevard. Alternates like that 5. 5's getting a little slow out of downtown, but use it. It's still going to move better than the Hollywood Freeway, that's for sure. Now, the 101 going eastbound right at the 405 is where we've got another injury crash. Looks like the right lane may be blocked with this one. 4 cars might be over to the side. I actually do see a little slowing now. A little bit past Balboa is where you're going to see the brakes. Not at Balboa, a little bit past it. Southbound side of the 405, really tough still from the 10 down to the 90. That was all due to some earlier problems that have gone. Orange County Drive still looking okay, except for the 5 north at 17th Street. We've got an injury crash really affecting that off-ramp as well. So that 5 north, you'll see some slowing right as you come up to the 55 freeway. Next report's coming up 7:45 from the Toyota Glendora.com 24-hour traffic center.
40s and 50s, the overnight lows tonight under mostly clear skies. And then for tomorrow, a sunny day. Nice out there. Highs in the upper 60s. But if you are in some of those favorite areas below passes and canyons and the mountains and the Santa Clarita Valley, it's going to be windy. North winds up to about 35 miles an hour in those places. And even in the basin, you could see a nice breeze, 15 to 20 miles an hour. So there's a wind advisory for the 5 and 14 mountain corridors and the Santa Clarita Valley tonight and into tomorrow. Irvine 61 right now, Seal Beach 59 degrees, East LA 56 at 7:37. Which state is better, Florida or California? Well, Governor Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis are now more than 1 hour and 35 minutes into a debate on that issue on Fox News. Newsom focused on gun safety.
You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives lost, 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with the parents and the families to get tough on gun safety, and again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Gutenberg said,
big dog in the past. You know all too well they tend to live shorter lives than small breeds. A Great Dane might live 7 or 8 years, about half the average lifespan of a Chihuahua. But a San Francisco-based biotech company named Loyal has passed an early FDA approval phase for a new drug that can improve their quality of life in old age and in turn add another 3 years to it. Celine Halima is Loyal's CEO.
So what the drug is doing is trying to compensate for what we think is the reason why they got such short lifespan. And when we selectively bred dogs for size, we inadvertently selected for genes that are really, really important in making dogs grow big and healthy, but also make them age at a faster rate if they die sooner. So the drug is attempting to compensate for that, give them more healthy years.
Loyal's drug, which would come in the form of a routine injection every 3 to 6 months, could hit the market by 2026. It's 750.
Wall Street's best month in more than a year ended with a mostly higher sessions. Our industrials climbed 520, the S&P 500 added 17, the Nasdaq fell 32. Latest economic data shows consumer spending continuing to cool. The government says spending rose 0.2% last month after a downwardly revised 0.3 in September. Personal income rose 0.2% last month. Here comes another weight loss drug. Altimmune says its GLP-1 drug, pemvidutide, produced a mean weight loss of 15.6%. Phase 2 trial. More than 30% of patients saw weight loss of 20% more. If you have a Gmail account you haven't used in a while, you may want to log in today. Starting tomorrow, Google will delete personal accounts that have been inactive for 2 years. Says they're vulnerable to hacking and identity theft. I'm Bloomberg's Larry Costa on the California Deluxe Windows Money Desk, KNX News, 97.1 FM. Hi, it's Charles Feldman. I've spent years as an investigative reporter, and as the chief correspondent here at KNX News, I go in-depth to get the answers that matter to you. Is that the assessment of the Israeli military? Could this be that long to conflict? I sure hope not. On SoCal's only 24/7 connection, KNX News. 97.1 FM. Hi, I'm Henry Booker. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father in law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related. Straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a grocery. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com. This is Tom Train. You've heard me talk about how much I love Fixco. And here's another reason. Fixco now offers curbside pickup with a great deal. Buy one tire, get one 50% off. Just launch the Fixco app, sign up with your mobile number, enter the make, model, and year of your vehicle, and everything is filtered for you. Select the tire shop where you want your tires installed, and now you can select curbside pickup and get your tires installed wherever you choose. Fixco even contacts you for an installation or pickup time that works best. Once you place your order by paying online, Fixco delivers the tires the next day. They made buying tires for my car super easy, and they can do that for you too. Fixco offers high-quality tires from Michelin, Yokohama, Continental, Pirelli, and more. Up to 60% off with a 50,000-mile warranty. Download the Fixco app at Fixco.com. It's the easiest way to buy tires. Go to Fixco.com for a limited time. When you download the app, buy one tire, get one 50% off on select tire brands.
Have you ever wondered how affordable Mercedes-Benz could be? Come on in and check out our inventory here at Mercedes-Benz of Valencia. We'll do our very best to get you in the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted. Stop in and see us between the 5 and the 14 freeway, or check us out at mbzvalencia.com. Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guy. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. If you're like me, you think there may be two types of airline baggage, carry-on and lost. So let's take a look at the numbers. There were 1.4 million mishandled or lost bags in the first half of this year. So which airline did the best, or the least worst job of not mishandling bags. For the first half of this year, that award goes to Allegiant Airlines, and they've kept that ranking for the fourth straight year. One possible reason, Allegiant charges for checked bags. More of their passengers fly with just carry-on. Endeavor and Southwest, which doesn't charge for checked bags, also perform well. So who came in last? American Airlines. For more information, visit PeterGreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's IR Travel News.
This holiday season, give them a steal. Save $30 on the GTA26 battery-powered party pruner. Find yours at steelusa.com/gift-guide. Now $149.99, less $179.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
55 now. Time for your traffic. What's happening? Brian Douglas.
Our signal alert's still working here in the Cahuenga Pass, 101 northbound. Just before you get to Universal City, 2 left lanes still taken away until further notice. Unfortunately, it was a deadly wreck here involving somebody on a motorcycle. So that rider passed on here. And this was about 2 hours ago now. Northbound side from Santa Monica Boulevard, it's still really tough for that 101. The 5's actually looking a lot better. If you want to scoot up using the 5, you can hit the 134 and you'll be on your way. Thanks for the call back from one of our Uber drivers at 134 East before the 2 was completely stopped, and that would get a stall out of the left side of the freeway to the right, and you're moving now, she tells me, and back up. So you still a little slow from San Fernando Road. Still had a wreck here on the 101. This is going to be the 101 eastbound on the 405. About 3 or 4 cars involved. You got some slowing back to about, at this point, Balboa. Again, that's the eastbound side of the 101. 14 southbound, a little bit before you get to Soledad Canyon, is where we're working a wreck here, and I believe they're trying to move everything over to the right lane. If they haven't done that already, you got some slow. And we had a wreck here on the 91 south, right before the 110 south, right before the 405. That has cleared. Next report's 805 from the ToyotaGlendora.com 24-hour traffic center.
SoCal's only 24/7 connection.
Coming up, Governor Newsom and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis face off at a Fox News debate. Plus, police shoot a man with a hammer and hatchet in North Hollywood. And a suspect under arrest in connection to that fatal home robbery and murder in Santos. These stories plus your traffic every 10 minutes on the flash. And CBS News is next.
This is KNX News, 97.1 FM.
It's 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A busload of 30 Palestinian prisoners released by Israel is welcomed home in the West Bank. Hours earlier, Hamas militants released 8 Israeli hostages. The New York Times reports Israeli officials actually obtained the Hamas battle plan for the October 7th terrorist attack more than a year before it was carried out. CBS's Tom Foti.
The Times says on some level it was dismissed as too difficult for Hamas to carry out. Bilal Saab is a senior fellow with the Middle East Institute.
This was more an intelligence failure when it came to imagination, frankly. The Israelis didn't believe that Hamas would pull off something so spectacular and so successful.
The Times says it's unclear whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu or other top political leaders saw the document. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
Palestinian student Sinan Abdelhamid, who was shot along with 2 friends over Thanksgiving weekend in Burlington, Vermont, says it wasn't until he went to the help for his friends that he had realized he had been shot. CBS's Errol Barnett.
Abdelhamid's mother, Tamara Tamimi, traveled from Jerusalem to Vermont after the shooting.
And honestly, till now, feel like there's nowhere safe for Palestine. If he can't be safe here, where on earth are we supposed to put him? Where are we supposed to be? How am I supposed to protect him?
48-year-old Jason Eaton has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempted murder. The shooting is being investigated as a possible hate crime. An investigation is underway after allegations of drinking on the job at a secret saloon on a military base responsible for protecting the homeland. CBS's Catherine Merrick.
Colorado headquarters of Northern Command in NORAD, an office nicknamed the Saloon, was searched. In a locked workspace with access to classified networks, investigators found a refrigerator with containers of beer as well as hard liquor. The Environmental Protection Agency proposes requiring water utilities to replace all of their lead pipes. CBS's Linda Kinnan
If
reports.
approved, it would force most utilities to replace lead water pipes within 10 years. The EPA says it could cost $45 billion. The drinking water industry estimates it will cost as much as $60 billion.
World leaders at the UN Climate Summit have agreed to create a loss and damage fund to help the countries hardest hit by global warming. CBS's Ben Tracy.
Something that poor developing nations have been pushing for a long time. And at its core, this is basically a fund set up by wealthy nations to give money to poorer nations to cover the impacts of climate change.